Test. That one. I don't think it needs to be that loud. Lower the gain, maybe. How's that? Is that better? That seems a little better.
Test.
Test.
Good. Testosterone.
Okay, let's check our phones and see if it's actually working.
Oh, is it on? Are we on now? Still be an idiot. Own that, work that. Maybe you'll get a position in the White House. Okay, did that fool roll back tariffs today? I think he paused them.
And they're like angled. So we almost just need like 4 blocks. Or a little angle in the or they're just that. It just seems like less, like you need one more and it'll be less stable.
all. A drink to accompany the song. Hi everybody, whether you are a bot or not a bot. Bot or not bot. Bot or not bot. What you got? Bot or not bot. What you got? DJ Bill. Whoa. Hey, DJ Bill Gates. Salve, salve. This is DJ Semicolon. Holly went to get some more pizza. But she'll be back soon.
I'm a Sam Squanch.
Your cheekbones are so chiseled.
I'm a Sam Squanch. You've got like some Hindu dude in there chanting. To me, it sounds like he got trapped in a box.
I have you trapped in here. DJ Bill PH is here.
How did you make him so tiny? How did you make him so tiny? How did you make him so tiny? How did you make him so tiny?
I want to make it sound like we're in an atrium or something. Or maybe next to a stream.
Start doing a bunch of jumping jacks. Up in the mountain. I freaked out. I started chanting. I started doing a revival show. I was like calling on Jesus and Krishna and the power of Shakti. I'm a Sam Squanch. Their butt. Their butt. Their butt.
Dang.
Their butt. Krishna up in their butt.
I want to make it sound like we're in
their butt. Wow. We could be in a butt. We're in a butt.
Good turnout or something. Or maybe next to a stream.
Or maybe next to a
Stream.
Hello, chill.
I'm a Sam Squanch.
Your cheekbones are so chiseled. return to L. Y. H. O. L and return to L. Y. H. L and return to L. Y. H. O. L semicolon and return to L. Semicolon. H. Semicolon. L semicolon return to L. Y. H. O. L and return to L. Y. H. O. L and return to L. Y. H. O. L. H. H. L and return to L. Y. H.
That sourdough in the oven. Bake it at 350, 450.
It's like 500 degrees, no, it's like 4 or something, 400.
Do you spray it with water to make it have the crusty on the
No,
outside?
it'll kind of do it on its own. Yeah, no, you just kind of give it some slices and then roughs it up. Then you get all the nooks and crannies.
Crooks and nannies, that's right.
From childhood's hour, I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. And all I loved alone. Then in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of good and ill, the mystery which binds me still. From the torrent to the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning and sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view.
This was the Midwest, and the sky was so vast. It was most of the world. I knew I had come from there, and that someday I would go back. Between the endless nights, what are nights for? To fall through time into another world. Downtown Manhattan, next to the West Side Highway, in September 2001. Manhattan, next to the West Side. Next to the West Side Highway. In September 2001, after the Trade Center fell, everything was covered with white ash. For months, lines of trucks moved up the highway, carrying the twisted metal debris from the towers. Debris from the towers. Debris from the towers. Debris from the towers. Metal debris from the tower. Metal debris from the tower. Metal debris from the towers. 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 Out at the end of the pier, there's a strange Assyrian-looking building. And during this time, FBI speedboats began to dock out there. It was the beginning of the time when cameras began to appear everywhere. And everything was so loud and such a mess. I tried to get out of town as much as I could. And I decided to go to California, up to the northern mountains. And I decided to go to California. I go to California. I go to California, up to the northern mountains. 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 Go to California,
up to the northern mountains.
Go to California,
up to the northern mountains.
Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern mountains. Go to California, up to the northern the northern mountains with my dog Lola. Now the idea was to take a trip and spend some time with her and do a kind of experiment to see if I could learn to talk with her.
Who is she?
Now I'd heard that rat terriers had if I could learn to talk trip and spend some time with her. California, up to the northern mountains, with my dog Lullaby. Now the idea was to take a trip and spend some time with her.
Hell yeah!
And do a kind of experiment to see if I could learn to talk with her.
Probably not.
Now I'd heard that rat terriers could understand about 500 words, and I wanted to see which ones they were.
Which one?
It was February, and the mountains were covered with tiny wildflowers, and such a huge, tall sky.
Chickens can recognize 100 faces. I wonder which ones.
And hawks circling. Every morning we walked down to the ocean, which took most of the day. And what happened was, more or less, beauty got in the way of the experiment. It was just so beautiful up there that I forgot the whole project, really. It just slipped my mind. Most days the walk to the ocean took several hours, and we would just goof around and lie down and have snacks of carrots. Now rat terriers are bred to protect borders, so Lolabelle was always on the job. She would trot in front of me on the trail doing a little advance work, a little surveillance. Now occasionally, out of the corner of my eye, I'd see some hawks circling in this very lazy way up in the sky. And then one morning, suddenly, for no reason, they came swooping down right in front of me, dropping down through the air, their claws wide open, right on top of Lolabelle. And then they swooped back up and dropped back down, and I realized that they were in the middle of changing their plan. This little white thing that had looked like a tiny white bunny from 2,000 feet up was turning out to be just a little too big to grab by the neck. And they were making their calculations, figuring it out. And then I saw Lolabelle's face, and she had this brand new expression. First was the realization that she was prey, and that these birds had come to kill her. And second was a whole new thought. It was the realization that they could come from the air. I mean, I never thought of that. A whole 180 more degrees that I'm now responsible for. It's not just the stuff down here, the dirt, the paths, the roots, the trees, but all this too. And the rest of the time we were in the mountains. She just kept looking over her shoulder and trotting along with her head in the air, her eyes scanning the thin sky, like there's something wrong with the air.
California, and on Main Street in Ferndale, California. Went there today to the Fortuna location. It's their second day open there. Then we went to a plant store. There's a plant store there on Main Street that's like good variety of plants. And then we went to a little place called the Shire. Have you ever been there? She's not paying attention. She's messing with me. We went to this place called the Shire. It's like a jumbo sale indoors, I guess. There's like lots of little bowls of things. There's like different little mushrooms on spikes that you can put from your terrarium, and here's little dolls that you could have as a pendant. It's just like a bunch of that shit. Just crazy, love it. And then we went to the Makers right on Main Street in Fortuna. That's where the hippie cut coffee comes from. Hippie cup CBD coffee. If you don't know if you're coming or going. That was with my friend Jennifer. Oh, it was just like so many cool. I have high hopes for Main Street in Fortuna. If what's his name doesn't kill everything with his fucking tariffs.
For the helpers.
gonna sound weird again? No. Cool.
That was fun though, huh? We could do that.
No.
There it is.
Nope, no thank you, nope. I was just thinking about this house in Oakland. It's on 49th and I don't remember the name of the street. It's just off of Telegraph. Anyway, my kids and I used to call it the ice cream parlor house because it's a Queen Anne. It's got kind of a wraparound porch, and then it's turquoise and like a lighter turquoise and white. It just looks like you should have ice cream in there. And the house is pretty old, but the barn is even older. The barn's like 1860 or something crazy like that. They made it like an artist studio. It's pretty cool.
congratulations on owning a Smith Corona. If you follow instructions carefully, take time to correct any weaknesses which develop, and practice as suggested, you should soon be typing faster than most people write by hand. Additional speed and skill will of course come with practice. Have you studied the preliminary instructions and correct typing technique illustrations on page 1 of your typing textbook? Have you examined the keyboard and finger diagram on page 2 and identified the home keys? If not, stop the record now and do so before proceeding with this lesson. Now, look at your typewriter keyboard. Locate the home keys A, S, D, F, and J, K, L, semicolon, on the second row above the space bar. Curve your fingers naturally and rest their tips lightly on the home keys as follows. Left hand fingers. Fourth or little finger on A. Third or ring finger on S. Second or middle finger on D. First or index finger on F. Right hand fingers. Fourth or little finger on semicolon. Third or ring finger on L. Second or middle finger on K. First or index finger on J. Your fingers will be in proper home key position if there are two uncovered keys, G and H, between your hands. Now drop your arms to the sides of your body. Place your fingers in home key position. Once more, drop your arms to the sides of your body. Place your fingers in home key position. In typing, the space bar is struck with the right thumb only. The left thumb is held loosely under the left palm. Place your fingers on the home keys and hold the left thumb under the left palm. Hold the right thumb about 1/2 inch above the center of the space bar. Keeping the other fingers on the home keys, strike the space bar with the right thumb each time I say space.
When you asked about the water spritz, sometimes when I make like other kind of bread, I'll put ice in the bottom of the oven when I put the dough in, yeah. And then you see, that kind of works.
Little finger, strike A. Left ring finger, strike S. Strike S. Strike S. Left strike S.
Daisy's a little bohemian dog. She's sleeping in whatever bed will have her.
Strike S. Left middle, strike
Bohemian
S.
chic. Is that implying
Left
that Bohemians
middle,
are not
strike
chic
S.
already?
Left middle, strike S.
It's not chic. It's Bohemian chic.
Left middle, strike
What's that
S.
implying?
Left middle, strike S.
Just a description, I
Yeah,
guess.
and I always get confused. Are we talking about
Left
the country
middle, strike
Bohemia?
S.
Or, that doesn't exist
Left
anymore?
middle, strike S.
It was pretty important for a while. Or are we talking about, like,
Left
hippies?
middle, strike S.
Yeah. Yeah.
Left middle, strike S. Left middle, strike S. Left middle, strike S. Left middle finger, strike D.
Okay.
Left index finger, strike F. Right thumb, space. Right little finger, strike semicolon. Right ring finger, strike L. Right middle finger, strike K. Right index finger, strike J. Semicolon, L, face.
This is a sourdough champ.
Space.
Extra sour.
Semicolon,
Extra dough.
L,
Extra dough.
space. Space. Space.
good signal all night
Space.
without any adjustments.
Yeah, good.
Space. Space.
Does it need to be there?
Space.
Yes, because I don't have my long. Couldn't find my long cable from the interface to the computer.
Space.
Oh, I don't know. Could be wherever. It says to be by a plug.
Space.
Here.
Space. Space.
Yeah.
Space.
It's just this one tonight. I don't lazy
Space.
face, blah blah. Reasons.
Space.
I'm starting to use that a lot.
Space.
Okay, it's like, okay, kids. I was supposed to have this
Space.
paper ready for you, but because of reasons, it's not ready right
Space.
now. Or it's not ready right now because reasons. You don't care anyway.
Space.
Although, after the All Region Festival,
Space.
where my good band kids played under the
Space.
direction of a different person, after playing under me all year long,
Space.
and I don't know how they felt about the homegirl prior to me,
Space.
but they were like, wow, her beat pattern was really small, because I'm talking
Space.
about conducting and trying to get them to understand. So if they can
Space.
do this, maybe they'll internalize 1, 2, 3, and then they don't have to count 1, 2, 3, 4. They're
Space.
just looking at me. Then they're looking at me. You know,
Space.
we're this close. Like we're this close. But we're still a little
Space.
immature. But a lot of them came
Space.
back and they were like, "Wow, Miss Mac, you're way easier to follow."
Space.
Or your beat is way bigger, and I like that. Even though I'm really
Space.
close to this tiny group of people. But I guess
Space.
she's really small, and it's a big group. And
Space.
that was fun to like. They because I told them about it. They like paid attention to the aspects of that thing
Right, how it's
that they
yeah.
liked or didn't like or whatever, and could describe it to me because we talked
Space.
about that. We used that vocabulary, and like
Space.
kids learn stuff from me.
Right? Some
Space.
kids know more about conducting than most people.
Space.
Really?
Space. Space. Space.
I want to do
Space.
with my choir a warm-up unit where everyone has to
Space.
come and warm up the choir.
Semicolon.
Then I want to do a conducting thing with all my other groups. See if they
J.
can move their, you know.
Space.
Like, what if you had a show where like there's one
A.
segment,
S.
one whatever,
D.
the kids are all conducting.
Oh, there's
F.
a piece right now that we're doing that's just fucking straightforward. And it's an easy piece.
Semicolon.
And a lot of them like it. So I'm like, okay, we're doing that piece. And then I can sit with the trumpets. Well, with the person who holds the trumpet.
Semicolon.
And I can sit there and play
Semicolon.
while the kid does this. And they'll start and then they'll be off. The second measure they're off.
Semicolon.
I don't care. I just keep letting them go. And we just keep, because it's easy. It's just straight ahead music. We don't have to worry about watching anyway. And it gives them a chance to be like, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing, or whatever. Or just to practice the motion.
Right?
Because that's all it's about.
Semicolon.
So what I need to do is like every Monday, we're fucking gonna do this for 10 minutes. And then someone else come up and conduct, and we'll just say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and maybe we do that. And we just sing about it.
Semicolon.
That would do it. That'd be good.
Semicolon.
Okay, I'm gonna check my sourdough.
Check the sourdough.
chocolate covered espresso beans and I hate them. They were in my pocket from this morning. I'm lucky they didn't melt. Thanks for lurking, y'all. I feel like there's people lurking. I feel like there's more people than you think lurking.
Yeah.
Algorithm, schmalgorithm. I know, you know what it is?
It's all the people that are inside my head.
And the other thing is shadow ban. My channel's probably shadow banned for no reason. I'm just too cool for school, and they're like, can't have that spread around the internet. People might start questioning things.
We're so fucking underground, dude.
You couldn't find us if you looked for us. Thank God. I was just thinking, as much as I like interacting with the people that chat and like show as long, like that's fun. I'm always like, oh, are people gonna come and chat? Just everybody lurk. That'd be cool. If I had 80 lurkers, dream come true. You can't do that, lady. sourdough for a whole hour, yo. All my loaves, I'm gonna cook all my sourdough for an hour, yo. All my loaves, all the sourdough loaves that I'm making with my active starter. I keep it on the counter, 'cause I can't keep up with it. Then I stick it into the refrigerator for later in the week. My sourdough, it's a powerful dough. It's a starter. If you only had a tiny bit of yeast but a whole lot of time, then this would be a mighty fine method to continuously create leavened dough without having to buy more yeast at the stove. Yeah, I can flow, you heard it before. Like a river, with the words like a river, with the words like a river, flowing out my mouth, flowing down south, and the east and the west, to the place that's the best. That's Holly yesterday. Aesthetic way to situate them, but I don't know that way. Maybe even making a figure 8 around the places, I don't know. I think that I was trying to keep it simple because maybe they were gonna paint in the future, kind of, and I didn't want to have to like or forget. Oh, yeah. But maybe. I am afraid that my sourdough might be undercooked. I'm expecting the like tapping it and it sounding hollow to work.
Oh, so did you take it out already? How brown
It was in there like a long time.
How
It's
brown?
Brown is it? It's pretty brown.
Did you put it like make it round like the Dutch oven? Oh yeah, because you have more like as opposed to like cooking smaller loaves, you know that.
Totally has to penetrate deeper.
That's what she said.
We'll see. You know what? I'm gonna eat it anyway, and if I don't, the chickens will.
You can just eat the
And exactly. You can have that little dome around the outside. That's beautiful.
Slather it with some butter.
So friggin' good. And then I still have active starter to try again. It's all experimenting, and that's what I'm saying. Now I'm gonna just, all my loaves, just an hour. Fuck this 40 to 50 minute shit, or 30 to 40 minutes. Nope, just an hour. Part of it is the temperature of my oven is unclear would be an understatement.
Do you have one of those?
I need to get a thermometer. A hangy one? Yep. I need one of those.
I have two of them, and they give me two different readings, but the right day.
Average or something. How different are the readings? Like 20 degrees?
10 to 20 degrees.
You know,
maybe the spring or whatever.
And I feel like that's like, when you're talking of hundreds of degrees.
Right.
Especially when it's, 200 or, 250 or 300, like,
right?
You're close enough. Yeah, I may average them, like, even though that may not be the answer.
Or do that like the other math as well. If it's a little bit colder, then I have to leave it in this much longer. And also my stove is like 90 years old.
Oh yeah. Total classic. Getting the wave of like, oh god, that's happening tomorrow. Oh god. Oh god, I'm not like
wrap up early? Do you need that?
I mean, we'll see. We're only at 8:50-ish. I had the scores. I have the scores, and I made my wind ensemble play through the two songs that the 5th graders are gonna have to play. So I could be like, oh, okay, this. I don't need to study the scores. It's, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, whatever. This one is super cute called Whack-A-Mole.
Wait, so what's the other one? There's a squirrel song and a Whack-A-Mole song?
So there's different levels. Beginning band is 5th grade. That's the one I'm gonna get. And they have one that's called Whack-A-Mole and Alpha Dog, and the Alpha Dog is like a rock and roll kind of beat, like bum 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 bum, and they like clap their hands and clap something, right? Something fucking happens. So it's like a rock and roll piece, and then the Whack-A-Mole is like the clarinets stand up and play 2 notes and then sit down, and then the flutes stand up and play 3 notes and sit down, and then the play stand 2 notes and sit down, and then the percussion is like they have to jump because they're already standing, like, so it like pops through the orchestra or the band, and you have to like, so that'll be like fun choreography, being like, who's next? Where's my saxophone? I want to do, and
they're gonna love that.
We have 4 hours of rehearsal. We have 4 hours, and I'm pretty fun. Like, I'm serious looking, and I like get down to business. But like, I'll say funny shit all the time. And 5th grade's kind of my jam, but I don't know these 5th graders, so that's tricky. Right. But turns out middle school's kind of my jam. Do it, don't get it. Hey, when you get a kid for more than once a week, you actually can develop a relationship with them, and then they want to fucking play their horn for you. And then they come back to band because their buddy's like, you know what, band's not so bad with this new teacher. And then they fucking re-enroll.
Yeah.
That's fuck all this fucking 1 day a week with middle schoolers. It's torture for all parties involved. It's great. Why is that even a thing that's allowed? I just don't understand. How are you gonna get anything done with 1 day a week?
I wish wish there was some organization in California that represented music educators.
Okay, so there was this turning point. We had a meeting on Sunday, and I can't remember if it was right before the meeting or during the meeting. And the feeling is fizzling a little bit, but I'm gonna try to like keep the spark fucking going. There was a moment where, and this is right at the year, like I'm at for end of my first year, going into my second year of president-elect, and then my president will be 2 years. I switched from, it was like a light switch, from just freaking out about all the fucking shit that I'm gonna have to do to like an excited feeling. And there's still, I'm like, really? For reals? Because you still have to pick all these fucking people to do this shit, and you have to, and then, okay, but let's not let that get in the way of this new fucking thing that I can like nurture and maybe actually get excited about this terrible shitty job I'm gonna have to do. It's just because it's volunteer, it's in addition to whatever is happening in the rest of my life. And I feel like it's going to be twice as much stuff that I'm doing for CMEA. And I might be underestimating when I say it's going to be, you know, because I already have a meeting every Tuesday morning. That's going to be there. Plus at least 2 other Tuesdays during the month. And the periodic Sundays. And every once in a while a Saturday, like, you know, so I feel like that's just gonna double. I'll be on committees that I don't have to like do work for. Can I just do the work at the meeting?
Do you feel like you're gonna do less playing of music?
I might have to, but I'm already kind of doing less because I'm not playing with Symphony of the Redwoods, and I have to just, I can't even get there. Like, it's so far away at this point.
That's the one all the way to
in Fort Bragg.
Yeah.
Because that's like at least 4 hours, more than 4 hours from here, which is shit-tastic. So that's crummy. I'm gonna have to just email them and be like, because of CMEA, I'm just not gonna be able to, and it sucks because I love you guys. And please, can I come back?
Yeah, take a hiatus. I don't think that anybody's gonna like not want.
It sucks because I'm sitting second chair.
Second chair,
Viola. The kid who's doing first chair, maybe he's a similar age to me. He might be a little younger. He's good. He's really good. And
you bump him off? Can you just,
he can save. That one is nerve-wracking. That like first chair position. It's probably not that bad right now because it's a different conductor. Because it was hard to watch. And if your section had to like do the starting of a thing or whatever, it was like, oh God, are we gonna be able to watch him? Okay, we'll just watch Jeff. Okay, Jeff, what are we gonna do? Like,
oh, the past conductor was.
He was really good. I love him so much, but not if you had to actually get like technique from him. Like he gave you all the heart and all of the like thought about the music, and he fucking conducted symphonies with no score.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, that's how much he knew. He just knew.
He
just knew the music.
Yeah.
It was, you learn the changes and you forget them. Like it just was. And even when little weird things happen, like Homegirl's reed didn't, what happened? Someone's note didn't go, and it was a little solo. Just nothing. And then we just wait a minute, and then we're back. Well, it was it was a beat, right?
Oh yeah.
One beat late or whatever, but it was a solo entrance, and like the rest of the orchestra was like, we're not hearing it. We're not gonna play yet. There it is. Now we can play. Like those decisions you could never make beforehand. You know? Because it's always like, well, what happens if someone doesn't come in? Well, you kind of have to keep going. But what if they don't come in, but they're gonna? But how do you know that they're gonna come in? But you can't overthink it. But in the moment, everyone just like, don't play it. Okay, all right. So that's what it feels like. Oh God, oh shit. In that first chair. So I'm fine not doing that one. But I do like second chair. It's fun. But yeah, I'm gonna have to email and say I need a hard drive. I better not get nominated for a fucking national position. I will burn this. I will burn everything down if someone is like, hey, you did so well just carrying the torch for CMEA for those 2 years. Because it's basically all I feel like I'm going to be doing, because I'll just be hanging on by my fingernails.
Crying is not. He's crying.
Can I just, here's, I have the torch. I have the torch. Who's next? I'm holding, I got it right here for you. My arm's getting tired, but it's okay. I know, because I know you're right there in 2 years. Take this from me, please.
Of love is the release.
That's the scary part.
Of love is the release. And that the purpose of death. So.
Oh, we changed the thing too.
Didn't we? Oh, did I change you? You can change back or somewhere.
It's okay. I'm not complaining. Just observing.
Gotcha. Turn yours off real quick. Transition. Okay.
Easy notes. What's our?
This says banjo, and we're at 80, so I'm gonna see what happens. The kiddos today in one of my groups, because we played something and I was like, I'm sorry that I'm gonna have to use some profanity right now, but what I just heard was poop-tastic. And we all kind of laughed. They're like, that's a really fun word, and I was like, I fucking made my kiddo laugh. I'm cool. I use the word poop-tastic. I do not give a flying fuck. I said poop-tastic, and I warned them about profanity beforehand. And if they can even repeat the word profanity in front of their parents, I'm sure their parents do not care. Because they're like, you know that word? Awesome, you're doing better than the rest of the kids. That's good. But yeah, crummy.
Upright and drink water.
Upright. Upright. That takes dogs. I don't have a pup right. I have a pup wrong right next to me.
I got a pup right next to me.
He is in a box. You know those cardboard. If you get a 24 pack of like soda in a flat, so that cardboard flat. No, it's a box, but it's looking like a flat. It is sturdier though. It's a box with the rolled over sides, and the dog's inside it with some blankets.
Good size for a small dog.
It's perfect. He loves it. He sits there while I'm taking my shower and stuff and getting ready in the morning. He'll be out right outside the bathroom in his little box. And then I'll go into the bedroom to change into clothes and he'll follow me back in there. What I don't understand is when they follow me upstairs. I can't get out of the place. Why are you...
What doing? Can help? I can help.
I'm not gonna leave out of the second story friggin' window. Why are you following me up here every single time? What doing? Can help.
Dogs don't think about it like that, do they? They're just following you. They're herd animals.
Right, that's true. They just don't do it as much in the other house. They're nervous about this place, but I'm just like, have you not figured out that I never leave out of we never leave out of the second story. We only leave out of the front door to go somewhere. Like you have to know, like you have to be able, like those two things have to be in your head at the same time, dogs. Why every time I'm going up and down, and they're every time. Daisy sometimes will sleep, and if Dexter's asleep, he can't hear me, he'll stay where he is. A couple of times this week I surprised them. One was Monday. I went home at lunch because I was gonna have to stay late. Or Tuesday, I was gonna have to stay late, so I went home at lunch on Tuesday. Was that yesterday?
Yes.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Today felt like 4 days. Just today, that like my brain is like 4 days worth of shit. I went home at lunch. And I opened the door and they were both asleep on the couch. And I had to go and like wake up Dexter. Because they were just in the deep sleep of midday, not expecting me.
Midday.
Because when I pull up at 3:30 or 4, they're barking at the front door, waiting for me to come in. So that was like,
whoa, what are you doing here? Whoa.
Right, wait, we're busy sleeping.
Right.
Mom. This town that we're in right now, Crescent City, I guess annually has this festival, or at least is having a festival right now, honoring our sister city in Japan, Rutsuki. It's too many letters for me to remember. But there was a boat. Japan had a tsunami, and this boat, 2 years later, floats into Crescent City. And so like the high school, I think, sent it back. They're like, here's your boat. And then that like created a little relationship. And so there's this festival happening right now and some of different kinds of events. I want to say it's the Komoke. Again, I'm like mixing up the vowels, I'm sure. But there's K's and O's and M's and an E, I believe. Okay. Kokome, maybe. Yeah. And that's the boat. So there's like.
How did they tow it back?
I'm not sure. It's a good question.
I guess this is something one can Google and probably find out.
Yeah. It was like a small, it looked like if it was what I saw the picture of, like just like a small, like fisherman's boat, kind of like very simple, like super simple.
From Fukushima? That tsunami?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I saw the year of when, Seaquake had a little blurb on their special menu, and they had a chicken sandwich, a katsu chicken sandwich, and it was so, and the like sweet mayo, what is it, Kewpie sauce or something, right? Like, chef's
They do a plum sauce with that? That'd be good.
And the bread was like, let's see, like soft soft slices of bread. You know, akin to Texas toast, but like maybe, yeah, a little bigger.
Oh, it does have a lot of letters. Rikuzen Takata. Rikuzen Takata.
Yes.
After the 2011 Great East Japan Earthquake and Tsunami. Okay, so the boat is the Kamome. Oh, so it's only been since 2018. There's this is just interesting. Woo! That is really interesting. Was that the Great East Japan Earthquake and Tsunami? That's in 2011? Is that from Fukushima?
2011? Maybe. Who knows? We're fucking old now. Too much has happened or whatever.
That's really nice. So boat, because that tsunami got off course, came all the way across the Pacific Ocean, ended up here. Kids at the high school here are like, yeah, man, let's fix it up. You know, they've got like an exchange program. That's sweet.
Little sister city action.
Don't let DC know about that. Still find a way to fuck it up. Is that a cat meow?
It's just a filter.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Come on, dude. Answer my text, hey you motherfucker, know you got your phone, cause you just answered you can't answer the group text and then not answer mine. How does one answer a group text and not the personal one that the wife sent?
Dressed up in shabby cat costumes.
Oh, loving that. Okay, and now you have to you just answered the group text. Oh, motherfucker. I don't know any of these people you guys are talking about. You have to tell me who this person is.
I hope they all dressed up in shabby.
There's some gossip going around about somebody texting somebody late night. Hey girl, you up? One of those.
I hope they all
And Ray is one of the first ones to be like, oh, I'm gonna guess who texted that, and he guesses who it is. And then they say who this person texted, and I'm like, who's that? I go to personal to Ray. Who's this person? And in my brain, I'm like, it's one of those types, whatever. Anyway, I'm trying not to spill too much. And he's not answering. And then he answers the group thing again. And I'm still like, buddy, you can't answer the group text. I know you're holding your phone because you're answering the group text.
Right.
He has not texted me back yet. Who is this person? Question mark. Like, I have an idea, but I don't know. I'm not positive. And I'm not. Yeah.
Who the recipient of the
Who the textee was that received the girl you up text?
Who's so the recipient, is that recipient actually a girl? Oh, but you don't know.
I don't know who this person is. Like by their name, because there's all sort of satellite people around my group of friends.
Right.
Specifically, the nail person, right? Like she's got a ton of these peripheral people that are in a life, right? Like I just mean like in my life, right? Like
kind of
I run into them.
Only know them from their stage.
I run into them at brunch or at a show. Otherwise, I don't know who you are or what you do or whatever, unless we chat at brunch. So I think it's one of those people, but I can't text that whole fucking thing. So I'm just saying, who is this person? Question mark that you're not answering me. So, and probably has already answered 3 times to the group text. I wasn't getting your texts; they weren't coming through. Let's see it. Oh, there we go. There it is.
You right?
He said yes. Oh God. And the texter has a newborn baby.
It's not somebody that I know, is it? It's the only person that...
They don't hang out a lot. They used to hang out more. With the like the neighborhood crew, like the people in my neighborhood.
I probably don't.
But I don't know if they were around when you were at one of those little mini events. And it would. Oh no way! It would, and that wouldn't help either anyway. Totally.
So somebody who got it. In my opinion, that is the lowest.
So they didn't. The textee did not respond until the next day. But they got it. They got it at the time it was sent.
They saw it.
They friggin' saw it, like motherfucker.
They're like,
So tomorrow, the hardest part's gonna be the morning at 8:30 when 100 fucking band kids all come into my room at the same time, and then we gotta go to the bus to get on the bus to drive to the high school to practice there. To make sure everyone gets their friggin' music, and only their music, not I don't want them to take their folder and leave it there.
Right.
It's like only the 2 pieces we're doing. But once we get there, all my students are some other director's problem. So it might be one of these situations where you should make sure your kids can match pitch before you send them to this honor event. It might be a situation like, hey, maybe Miss Mac didn't get the memo, but this is my first year. I'm just doing, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. I will know what I don't know after the event is over. And I get to direct 2 groups, so there.
This is the first rehearsal?
First rehearsal.
How many rehearsals you got?
2.
And then the show.
And the show is the night of that second rehearsal. And theoretically, all the kids are practicing this in their schools. Like, I know I've been making my kids learn it, and so I'm not. So I think if they sit down for 2 more hours, and then another 2 more hours, I'm not worried about, that director pulling that together. My strings kids, we already know each other. We're already working on this stuff every single day. And we're gonna have to repeat it at the concert because it's just hard to learn stuff right now at our beginning strings level. There might be a piece we could learn in like a month time, maybe. Because we'll know those 2 really good. Maybe a 3rd one. Yeah, we'll see. And maybe we can do that one instead of the one we were doing before that they suck at and they don't like. So I don't want to do a song that we're bad at and they don't like. But the 5th grade band too. And again, we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna be wearing a headset microphone, I believe, because it's 215 kids.
Jesus.
Oh yeah. And I think I will have a couple of adults there with me helping. I better freaking have a couple of adults there with me helping. story. Just kidding, it's pretty short. So we're doing a piece with my wind.
That was interesting.
Right? With my wind ensemble. We call them Neon Pickle. I don't know how we got that name. We're a little silly.
Okay. Oh, that's what you called it.
Like it just popped up one day, and then I made the slideshow say Neon Pickle instead of Wind Ensemble, and now freaking 6th grade band wants their own name, and I'm like, there's 40 of you. There's no consensus, and I'm not gonna make that kid feel shitty because we didn't pick his name. We're not doing it 6th grade. I'm not driving you to the airport. Damn it. Wind Ensemble, Neon Pickle. What do we do?
A piece that you did with them?
Thank you so much. So there's this snare drum part at the beginning, and it's tupa tupa tu. Let's see. So it's ta 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 ta. Da 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 da, and then the rest of it, but it's faster. I just didn't know I wanted to do it right. So she's struggling with figuring out like how to count it out, and I go, it's just mecca lecca high, mecca lecca high, mecca hiney ho. Mecca lecca high, mecca hiney ho, mecca lecca da da. And she's like, what? And I was like, Pee-wee's Playhouse, you guys. It's Pee-wee's Playhouse. Mecca lecca high, mecca hiney ho.
Mecca lecca kai, mecca hiney ho.
So I finally, after a couple days of trying to make her learn Mecca lecca high, which was not, unless it's in you when you're a kid, it's not in you. I was like, okay, it's this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And I was like, oh, it's just 5. It's just 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 5 is anyway.
The down to the next measure. Right.
Right. And it's a 5, and then it's 2 5s, and then it's 3 5s. So that's easy enough to get. So this was a couple months ago that we figured this out. Yesterday, one of these days, she says, Ms. Mac, I was watching this show with my aunt or whoever, and that, what was it, the Mecca, I was like, Mecca lecca high, mecca hiney? She's like, yes. And she's like, it was on this show. I was like, you were watching Pee-wee's Playhouse? And she's like, yeah, that's what it was. And I was like, yes, vindication. Like one of the best moments of like, see, I told you, motherfuckers. Anyway.
Did she like it?
She's a great attitude already. She's a super great kid. So I think it was definitely this like, holy crap, Miss Mac, that's the thing Miss Mac did, right? Like it was definitely, because we were trying to put it into our brains, right? Yeah. Everybody say Mecca lecca high with us. Mecca lecca high, mecca hiney ho. Yeah. It was fun. And I was like, awesome, girl, that's awesome. And then a kid said, Cinco Pa, and I was like, yes, that's what I call them. You get a sticker. It's 8th note, quarter, 8th note, right, short, long, short. So we teaching little kiddos, because lately, that rhythm is actually written as 8th note, quarter, 8th. I think in the past it was written as 8th note, 2 8th notes tied together, and then another 8th note, because then you can see where the second beat starts. But with 8th note, quarter note, 8th note, you don't, like that beat is, but if you learn syncopas, it's fucking easy. And there's actually the syncopas in one of the songs you're doing. But I was like, okay, what? And we were practicing that song, and I was like, what do we call this short, long, short? What do we call it? And she's like, syncopa. And I was like, sticker, pick it out, right on. Sticker. It's like their water bottle stickers. I have the good ones of like fish, dragons, jars with shit inside, like jars with cupcakes inside, a jar with marbles, a jar with a castle inside, a jar with a rainstorm, a jar with a universe inside. Anyway, they're very cool, like jar stickers. So I'm doing 5th grade band. I realized I didn't finish. I'm doing a 5th grade band. Then there's the 6th grade band someone's doing. And there's the advanced band, which is like 7, 8, and up. So some high school kids, I don't. And then there's the high school band is doing its own thing. So I get the beginning band. Because those 5th graders, I'll get a bunch of them next year in 6th grade, which is a really neat way to like do it. And the high school band director is directing the 7, 8 band.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Totally. And then one of the elementary, or one of the other teachers that does K8, I think, is doing the 6th grade band. Which is good. I don't want to do 6th grade band. I like the idea of doing kids I don't know. Conducting them, I mean.
I understood what you meant.
It's just for those of us outside this room. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's exciting. I don't know what I'm gonna fuck up. Next year I'll know what I'm gonna fuck up. Because I will have had the experience.
Well, there's always new things to fuck up, you know? Sorry.
There's a lot that can go on. You know what? Part of why I'm not worried is because of all the other music teachers that are gonna be there. Like a lot of us are busy directing a band, but a couple of us are not. And it's like they are there for support, and it's freaking awesome. I just totally dropped the ball and didn't tell anybody, all the teachers at my school, till today. And the 6th grade teacher one of the 6th grade teachers came in and was like, this is really sucky. She didn't say it that way, but it was obviously like, this is really sucky that we just found this out today. And I was like, you are totally right. Totally my bad. And I understand that this is like terribly short notice. Like that I was not good at all. Like I was super embarrassed. But yeah. But anyway, I tried to make it up in some emails. So, but like she came to talk to me, and I was like, no problem. Yes, tell me all about how I was shitty, because I was shitty. Like I knew I needed to tell these people. I just it was the bottom of my list of stuff. And I was like, today, I was like, anyway, just wash that man right out of my hair, because I made it up in an email.
And if they don't like it, then you can make them a coaster.
I could, right? And I'm at the meeting on Monday. I'm going to be like, in person, y'all. So sorry, won't happen again. Not used to the event or anything, so I apologize, but yes, my fault. Totally my bad. I'm so sorry that it gave you stress, because last thing I want to do is stress you guys out. You know, because that's what it would feel like. It just feels stressful, and like, don't you care about our time? Totally respect your time. Super sorry. Like, I just don't want to sound shitty when I want to sound like I'm sincere. And not just like, so sorry.
Yeah, so sorry.
I'm sorry if you felt bad about it. I'm sorry if you thought I did something wrong. This was a good cover. We should do this cover. There we go. I'm bringing sexy back.
Yeah.
Them other boys don't know how to act.
Yeah.
I think it's special what's behind your back.
Yeah.
So turn around and I'll pick up the slack.
Take it to the bridge.
Dirty babe, I'll let you whip me if I misbehave. It's just that no one makes me feel this way. This chorus kind of in bad taste. Come on, girl.
be gone with it.
Come to the back.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
VIP.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Drinks on me.
Go ahead, be gone
What
with
you
it.
tweaking with?
Head be gone with the
Look
tweaking.
at those hips. You make me smile. Go ahead, child.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy on.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy on.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy on.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy on. Get your sexy on. Get your sexy on. Get your sexy on. I'm bringing sexy back.
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers don't know how to act.
Yeah.
Come let me make up for the things you lack.
Yeah.
Cause you're burning up, I got to get it fast.
Take it to the bridge.
Dirty babe, I don't see shackles cause I'm not a slave. I let you whip me, not in this way. I was trying to make it up on the fly. It's just that no one makes me feel this way.
Take it to the chorus.
Come here, girl.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Turn to the back.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
VIP.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Drinks on me.
Go ahead,
Let
be
me see
gone
what
with
you're
it.
twerking with.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Look at those hips.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
You make me
Go
smile.
ahead, be gone with it.
Go ahead, child.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
And get your sexy on.
Go ahead, be gone with
Get
it.
your sexy on.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy on.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy on.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy on. Get your sexy on. Get your sexy on. And more of the same. Ad infinitum, ad libitum, ad infinitum. Bringing it back. 80 attack. Gonna be slow. Go, go, go. I got to sing Skip to My Lou with friggin' eight other kids, like I'm a kid. 8 kids. I remember 1 or 2 of their names. They're very cute, and they were like, yes, we want to play more ukulele, Miss Mac. And I was like, okay, we're just doing baby songs. And they're like, we love baby songs, Miss Mac. I didn't say that, and they didn't say that back. But that was the gist I was getting as we were doing doggy, doggy, where's your bone? Because here's what we did. Here's what I did. Sit in a circle. Doggy, doggy, where's your bone? Someone stole it from your home. We're all doing strum on a C chord.
Okay.
Or C7. I was like, should we make it jazzy? Let's do a C7. Doggy, doggy, where's your bone? Someone stole it from your home. And then I get to play Who Stole Your Bone as we sing Who Stole Your Bone. And then that next person in line just fucking solos on ukulele after that. Or poo poo poo. It was so dope to watch every kid do their little different thing that they did. And some kids did the same thing, like strumming on their C7. And some kids were like, little individual strings I want to pluck. And I was like, fuck that. That's all I needed. That's all. And then I had to come here and listen to a meeting where they wanted to end up bitching at me again about sending a kid that couldn't match pitch. It's okay, I had fun with some ukulele kiddos today. That was fun.
Maybe you shouldn't have volunteered that information that it was one of your students.
I realized, like, if I knew then what I know now,
Yeah.
I would not have been so... But what was I gonna do? Be like, I don't know that kid. Which kid? What kid? Which kid? What kid? And I'm telling you, she was like one of the lowest rated kids on the thing that I put. Why do you have... Why? And then in the end, I didn't hear her singing off key. Why do we have a rating system? Anyway, Am I making excuses for it? I will admit that yes, I'm making a couple of excuses. Usually I don't make excuses, but these do sound like excuses, and I'm gonna make them. But that first one about December, we picked in December. Come on. We picked in December. Maybe we were singing songs she already knew. I don't know. We weren't, but like.
Maybe she got nervous in the choir.
Bingo. Because actually right now, again, we're doing these songs. She's totally singing great. I was like, oh, and I was like, put her next to this one kid, and she'll just sing with her. Like, she's used to singing next to this kid.
Yeah.
So I did try to give them a solution. They're like, what do you think? And I was like, have her stand next to one of, like, someone that goes, have her stand next to Bailey, is what I was like. Mm-hmm. Have her next stand. Yeah. I just think it's good. I'm just like, are we beating a dead horse at this point? Was it not a successful performance? Why are we talking about this still? Do you just want to bring it up again and again to make me feel shitty? Like, why would you bring it up again? Like, did you know an email was sent from did you know that the director emailed the two teachers that had kiddos that had that issue, that difficulty? That's the first question. Did you know that the director emailed those two teachers? I won't even say it was me and someone that I know. I'll just be like, did you know? And the director did it without blind CCing. The director sent it to two specific individuals who could each see each other. Mm-hmm. That, I think, was already not so
profesh.
Not so profesh. So I guess if when it comes up, I will say, listen, I do have something to say about this. First of all, did you know that the director already emailed people about it? And did you know that the director did not blind CC anybody and that each person knew the other teacher on the email? Did you know that? Do you think that's a professional way to handle this? Mm-hmm. Do you think bringing it up right now as a professional is like without knowing this, do you now think that you need to bring it up?
Or like, do you know that there's a rating system?
Like, are you aware of the rating system?
Because I was honest about where this kid is in the rating system, and if you guys didn't look at that, I don't know what to say. That's that.
Let's take everyone. I did not take everybody. If someone rated somebody like a 1 or a 2, I was like, nope. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is I can say read the music perfectly. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to send me a 1 or a 2, I'm gonna go ahead and chop that person off. Anyway, there's just like, maybe, how are we gonna? Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want to not include any kids, but then when there was a kid who couldn't really do the material, then they're mad at the teacher.
If you're going to accept everybody, then you need to ignore that there's a rating system.
Yeah. Or don't ask people to fill out a rating
system. Or why have a rating system if you're just gonna take everybody?
Mm-hmm. Why have a rating system if you're just gonna take everybody and then complain? You make up your mind.
That's tripping and hogging. Totally, you can't trip and hog. You can trip or you can hog. Mm-hmm. If you cut people and you didn't cut her and she can't sing, totally, you cut people. She should have been the person that you cut. Some mistake was made. Right? Like. But if you're not cutting, you can't complain. You get.
Right?
Yeah, I do think leaving the meeting at that moment was maybe the most diplomatic thing I could have done.
Oh, just all right.
Nobody checked in with me after I left. And I was getting texts from 2 of the people that were on the meeting.
Right.
During the meeting. But those people, yeah, they're more people, so. I mean that, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, they were probably like, ooh, that conversation went nowhere.
Whoop, zip, zip, sexy, whoop. Cut back is sexy, whoop. Notice I'm bringing sexy backwards. I'm bringing sexy backwards. Backwoods. Track. Woods. There's a track in the woods at McKinleyville High. Track that goes through the woods. Okay, it might be pumpkin time.
Yeah, I feel it too.
Everybody is awesome. Everybody is cool when you're part of a team.
Who you feeling? How about Jay Nothing? Night Catch? Let me check this out. Cat's Acoustic Kitchen, that's a different thing. Oh, she's gonna cover it. Hell yeah. This is really different. Where's she at? Oh no.
Alright, copy.
I copied it. Sounds so tired. Wait, did you raid? Are you over there already? I'm still no. That's okay, I know how to play.